Tim, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us here. Take us through what exactly the investor thesis is for a public offering like the one that we were going to see with Palantir.
Well, thank you very much for having me this morning. So, well, as you mentioned, I'm a private investor. So I look for promising companies in specific industries. I've been investing in private companies for more than 15 years. And I always look for similar patterns while industries evolve over time. So the space that Palantir is in is obviously a data company, data mining, data processing company. So that sector has already been hot for quite some years. And as my career for the last 24 years have been in digital advertising, with Google coming into the space in the early 2000s, I realized very quickly that data and data processing will be the future. So I was looking actively for a couple of investment opportunities in the data mining processing space. And when I entered Palantir the first time in 2015, it felt very clear that they are doing something different in a space that is not advertising related, like many of my other investments in that space, but helping companies and government entities to basically aggregate data, mine data, and process data. So that is a very promising field because a lot of companies in the past have not really seen data as a specific asset in their P&L, nor really having been valuing data enough. But we see obviously with the large tech companies like Facebook, and now obviously TikTok coming up, that data really is one of their core assets. So data will be more important. Therefore, my investment in Palantir really started as I need to get into data companies that have a promising trajectory.
So Tim, I wonder, private investors are different than public investors in certain ways and similar in others. When you were looking at Palantir as an investment, you mentioned the data, you wanted to get into that kind of business. Were there any things about Palantir that worried you when you committed money to it? It's been a company that's been very controversial, shrouded in secrecy. Is it going to be an investment that public people are going to want to get in on?
I believe so, yes, because you have to, I mean, keep in mind that a lot of tech companies actually do start with government contracts, right? And it's actually a very predictable business model because governments in general are pretty sticky clients. If I just want to look at this objectively, right? So from my perspective, having starting a business on government clients is not necessarily a bad thing. And traditionally, when you work for governments in general, whatever capacity in, secrecy is your bread and butter. So it doesn't surprise me that a company like Palantir has been very secret about their specific IP. Please keep in mind that a software company at large, their only asset really is their algorithms, the intellectual property around building software, and their people. So if that is your really only tangible asset as such that really values your company, you want to keep that secret for as long as you can, right? Obviously, they have to open up. Obviously, they have gone through a lot of controversy, but it makes me very happy to see that more than 50% now is actually commercial clients, because that is really something they will grow, I think, in the future much more.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.